Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with my fabulous co-hosts Rose and Tracy, because we are here to discuss what, ladies?
Pew, 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 pew.
I love that noise. Do that again.
Pew, 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 pew. Bonus episode.
Hello, ladies. We've been gone for what, a week and a half, 2 weeks, because
Too long.
people on vacation, and we have 2 episodes to cover, and they were some good episodes. We're gonna start with episode, was it 7?
Yeah.
7.
Okay, Tracy and Rose have all the notes, so I am following their lead tonight.
This is given Shahida might not have watched.
I
Did you
definitely
watch?
watched.
Okay.
Definitely watched. I did. But I watched 2 weeks ago and a week ago. I remember last week more than I remember the first week. But once we start talking, it'll all come back.
Fair.
I feel like the most recent one was the most important one.
Okay.
What?
But I know,
Yeah.
I know Tracy probably gonna have like her signature, like best insults, best Rhode Island words. Well, we know last episode had it going, but let's start with episode 7, please.
So I'm going to just kind of set the mood in the scene because we're still at the mansion, believe it or not.
Yes.
In episode 7, still at the mansion. The girls, with the exception of Rula, are waking up in the morning and recapping the evening's events. So this is after they've had the big explosive argument, the unmasking, and then the subsequent disagreements at the dinner table. So then they're waking up in the morning. Everyone's like coming down to breakfast little by little. Alicia's eating the best yogurt she's ever eaten in her entire life. She hates to keep saying it, but oh my God, it's the best yogurt. And now I want to know what the yogurt is because I want some.
I wonder if they got it from, where was that place we used to get that really good yogurt from downtown, and they close it and we walk by there all the time and cry a little? Yolani's. Remember Yolani's?
I had never had the yogurt.
Their Greek yogurt was the absolute most fabulous Greek yogurt I've ever had my entire life.
Oh,
And then they closed.
we need to find out where this yogurt came from. But again, this woman's primary diet is crackers. So we'll put a pin in that because we don't know if this is a legitimately good yogurt or not. To be continued on that. So first they start off talking to their husbands on the phone, which I thought was super cute in the morning time. They all kind of like, a few of them had the conversation with the hubbies. Ashley reminded her husband, like, you can't be booking stuff over the Jonas Brothers tickets that we have, bro. This is a typical husband-wife dynamic thing. It's like you tell your husband something, it's on the calendar. We've talked about it for weeks. And for some reason, it escapes them. They can't remember the important thing, but they remember stuff they're not supposed to remember. So that was their combo. Joellen,
can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah, go for it.
Can you please get in the middle of the frame again? Why do you keep moving? There you go, man.
Me?
There you go. No, it was Tracy. Now
I
finish your
literally
recap.
am sitting. I don't know. It's Riverside that's making me no sense.
Okay.
And then Joellen, the only one who seems to have a relationship where her and her husband actually really like each other 90% of the time. She got on the phone with her husband. He was all smiles. She was all smiles. Love the energy between them. And then Rosie got on the phone with her husband and was saying how, they attacked her. And he was a good husband. He backed her up and was like, those girls just jealous, baby. And he did the right thing. Even if it's not true, that's what you're supposed to say as a husband.
No, he probably truly believes it's true. He loves her, so he's going to think that everybody wants to be her. But
Yeah.
we don't.
And then she also complained of nausea. So I'm like, are we supposed to be teasing a pregnancy here? Because she was getting annoying with how much she mentioned.
I thought about that too.
I
throwing up.
didn't even really pick up on that. Okay. Yep, that's true. She was complaining. And she had to go lay down, right?
And the day before, she said she had a beer belly. Do you remember that? part?
No.
Her saying, because when they went to put their swimsuits on, not the was it the day before? Was a slip? No, this was the same episode, the slip and slide episode, part of the
Mhm.
episode. She was saying, "Oh, I have a beer belly." I'm like, "Are you teasing a
Oh,
pregnancy?
I
What is really going on, Rosie?"
don't think I could take a Rosie pregnancy.
No.
No, I couldn't do it. But go ahead.
So that's the scene. So do you have anything? Do you girls have anything about just like that opening scene as we arrive at the breakfast table?
So this is after Kelsey and her kinda made up.
No.
Not
Did
yet.
they make up? No, they didn't make up
Didn't
yet.
they
They
make
had
up?
a meeting of the minds.
Okay, because they were on the slip and slide together.
Yes.
But
Okay.
they haven't made up yet.
Oh,
Doesn't
no?
Kelsey go to Rosie's room after breakfast?
I don't remember the timeline, but it was before they left the mansion that they did bury the
Right.
hatchet.
Okay, alright.
Yes.
So I got that mixed up.
Pre-slip and slide.
Okay, got you. Nope, I have no comments on that.
I just love Alicia. I love her and her yogurt. I love everything she does.
I
So
I liked Alicia and Joellen going off to themselves and then
Oh,
having
yeah.
their conversation. That was like
that was good.
that was, it gave a little bit more insight into both of them and how you just don't know, like, what other people are going through, and, of course, it was all kinda, like, staged or whatever, but it was still a good conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, going to rehab in 7th grade when you are not on drugs is
Yeah,
crazy. So
yeah.
no matter what I'm like, no matter how quote unquote bad of a kid she was, that was extreme. That
And
was an
that's
extreme
young to be sent
teen.
away. I
Right. And
thought she was talking high school at first, but
I thought
that's
she was talking
serious.
high school at first too when she said her mother sent her away. I didn't realize how young she was, which, I mean, her mom, that's a lot of things that you need to answer for, man.
and she
Yeah.
sent both girls. It wasn't she sent Jen too.
Oh, I didn't realize she sent Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did because Alicia was friends with Jen and and she said, I remember Jen went also. So
Oh,
Alicia referenced
Yes.
that as well. So the mom, for whatever reason, thought this was the better alternative. And at one point signed over partial custody of
to this
at least
day.
at least Joellen to the state because her insurance wouldn't cover it. So, but then I think there was a threat of them taking full custody of her, and that's when
Mhm.
she pulled her back and brought her back. But even the facility sent her back and was like, "You don't belong here."
But you
And
know
she
what
was
I found
there.
crazy? Go ahead,
Oh,
Rose.
no. Oh, no, she was there for a while. Didn't she say, like, 6 months the last time?
Yeah,
And
she did a year. She did
Yeah, I
a
thought it was a
year in one
year.
facility. She
Mhm.
did a few months in a few days in one, a few months in another, and the longest was a year. And she said among rapists, among children who were basically suicidal, things like. And at one point, she became suicidal because she was put in this situation.
But did you peep the reason why her mother said it? I know that's kinda, like, off a little, but it was because she was into boys. She was boy
Yeah,
crazy.
and she was
That
yeah,
was
lying.
the reasoning that she gave her because she was boy crazy.
And
yeah.
she
That
said she
was
was
awesome.
lying.
You think
She
she was
said she was a
lying?
big liar.
Yeah,
No,
that's what her mom said.
Well, yeah, because she was
Joellen's
lying because
mom.
she wanted to go hang out with some boys. Who wasn't lying? Who wasn't?
Yeah,
That's what you
that part.
teenage girls do. That was really shitty. If every mother followed that credo, every young girl would be in rehab.
Yeah.
And are
If
her parents divorced or her dad passed away? Like, were her parents divorced when her dad passed away is what I'm
Wasn't
curious.
the dad was a flight attendant, right? So wasn't he gone for work a lot?
I don't
I
I
remember
thought they
that.
were divorced. I thought were they married?
I know
they
he's deceased now, but I
But
don't
they
know
were
had a
they
family
when.
photo. They showed a family photo of the mother and the father and Alicia. I'm sorry, I keep saying Alicia and Jen
yeah.
and Joellen. So it was a at some point they took a family photo. Now I'm assuming the parents were married, but I distinctly remember Joellen saying either the father or grandfather was a flight attendant, one of them, because it was just such a strange thing to
Mhm,
say
Oh,
about like a male parent.
mhm.
So it
yeah.
stuck with me.
But he
And
wasn't around. He
right,
wasn't
so if he was flying all around, that would explain maybe he was traveling a lot for work and not present.
but then also when when she put them in rehab, I'm thinking he wasn't really involved because how does a man stand by whether he's flying around the world or not? If you are really in her life some type of
Yeah.
way, you're gonna question, well, she was in there
Yeah.
for a year, there was no questioning about it, which makes me think that the mother could do anything she wanted with those children because he didn't have an active voice.
Yes.
And then she was dropping them off at the grandparents the other half of the time, it sounded like.
Yeah,
I'm surprised the grandparents allowed it. 'Cause she seems very, very close with the grandfather. She said he
Yeah.
was a father figure.
I don't know. It almost feels like maybe Joellen romanticizes a little bit of that relationship
that's what I
because
was thinking.
if that was my grandkids, I definitely would not have stood by and let that happen without some kind of pushback. So there's some part of the story there, and maybe they were the kindest to her, and they
Mhm.
just kind of went along with the mom's thinking and didn't assert themselves the way they probably could have to stop it from happening. Who's to say what this
Yes,
woman was telling these people too? I don't know.
And
that's
I agree
true.
with you on that point about romanticizing it because I'm thinking the way she has talked about him, but the actions don't match up for those few years that she wasn't at home. Like if she was really like you said, it was my grandson or my granddaughter. Come on now. In
Right.
in a state facility, in a rehab, no, that would not have happened.
Right.
Well, she said the grandmother's just like the mom. She said she was like,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
yes. She said she was like not
Cold.
warm and fuzzy. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so maybe the grandfather was the nicest, but he couldn't bring her into his house because the grandmother was crazy.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that sucks. Yeah, so maybe.
That was
Okay.
rough. But that whole morning I did pull a little few Rhode Island housewife isms out of
Okay.
these conversations. Joellen, who I think generally has a good head on her shoulders, referred to blueprints as blue paper, which is concerning. I'm like, do you not know what a blueprint is?
But she could have just, like, had that moment of a brain freeze.
It's
Like, she knew
Huh.
possible
glue was in there, and she knew it was paper. She just put them together.
in the
It
morning,
was
but
close.
they were starting their mess about Rosie. I'm like, if you're gonna talk trash, have it
That's true.
together.
That's true.
So, and then Alicia, God bless her soul, referred to Epsom salts. Do you remember what she called Epsom salts?
Epstein salts.
Yes.
Yes.
I forgot that one. Oh, poor
No.
thing.
Then she
Yeah.
tried to pronounce ghosts, plural, but she can't pronounce the plural of ghosts.
What did she say? Do you
She just can't do the S on the end. So it's just ghost is the plural of ghost to
Okay.
her. Yeah.
Okay.
Can't do it. Can't manage it.
Can't manage that
Too
S.
hard.
Sometimes
Too
S's
hard.
are hard.
And Joellen, they put up the picture of her family. So this is when I remember her pulling up the picture of her family. And do you remember what I was saying before about Jen looking more like the mother? And I think the mom cut her slack. Joellen looks just like her father.
Mm,
If you look back on it and you look at the two, Jen looks like her mother and Joellen looks like her father. So that might be some of the issue with it because I've seen that happen in families where the mother will take out their anger on the father on the child, especially if the child kind of reminds them of the father.
mm.
But my girl Joellen referred to her mom as a Southern Belle, which was a mind scratcher for me. It was a head scratcher. I'm like, a Southern Belle from Rhode Island, but okay.
Maybe she's from down south. I don't
So
know.
She
she's
from
from
big
South
Providence?
Providence. I don't know. Pawtucket, with
I
South where?
Yeah, well, maybe she was just trying to say that her mother puts on airs, false,
That's what she
fake
said, because
okay,
Alicia said, "Your mom was so cool and she was so this and that." And she's like, "Yeah, she pretended to be the Southern Belle, but she was
okay,
not."
okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Alright.
Southern Belle.
So what's next?
Was the boat? No, it was Slip and Slide
Slip and
next.
slide. Yeah. Which is very uncomfortable to watch.
The very classy idea to put a blow up water slide in the back of a mansion in Newport. So classy.
So
And then
many
they,
indoor pools they coulda went to, the beach is right there. I
I know.
don't understand why they did that.
Liz wasn't there for it, but
Like,
anyway.
she was the one that set it up. That
But
was her idea.
she
She
quickly
went
got
inside.
intimidated.
But she went
She went in
inside because she felt awkward being with the young girls. Alicia was gone, and she was like, "I don't mind being the oldest, but sometimes it gets a little much."
when they were flirting with the butlers.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
it
when she
was.
went
Mhm,
inside.
mhm.
Yes.
I think she felt intimidated by the younger girls in their bikini. She's like, I'm not going to go out there with my bikini on. And these girls, I'm older than them. I'm like, that's never stopped you before. So I think she got intimidated because Ashley's body is rocking. Rosie looks okay. You know,
But didn't she
Alicia's.
wear a bikini earlier? Like, in another
Liz?
episode? Like, on the
Maybe.
boat with her husband? Or she had a bikini on earlier, and she looked good.
And that's probably fine with Jerry. But now you got these young butlers
Okay.
shirtless, running around ripped and flirting with the girls. And I think she realized she wasn't going to get that kind of attention. I really almost feel like she thought, let me go lay down because I'm too old. You know, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
didn't think about it like that.
yeah, I get it's a good point. It's a little shocking because I think she has a good body for her age,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I mean, why would she even think about competing with the girls for those for the waiter?
But look,
Yeah.
so Rula wasn't there because Rula bailed with her virus that doctors can't seem to pinpoint, and Alicia and Joellen weren't there. So the girls who are a little bit closer to Liz's age were not present. So I think
Yeah.
that's
And it could
to
have been,
Rose's
but
point.
also too what they were doing was dumb. I would not want
Yeah.
I would have done it. I mean, no
The
problem,
water
but
slide.
yeah, I would have did it, in the spirit of just but it was dumb. But she planned it.
I
So
feel like she was just yeah, I feel like she thought they were, like, embarrassing themselves with the butlers. I
Maybe
don't
which
know.
so.
is amazing to me. I don't because in your younger in your heyday, but they were I felt like Kelsey was just a little bit kind of just too much. She was really flirting hard and heavy. She came off as very desperate. We know she don't want them, but she just came off as like real desperate for attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other two were just like, but they're married, but she came off like, just relax, girl.
Well, she's also exploring her single era now because she's coming out of a 10-year relationship where supposedly she was locked in. So now she's in the streets. So I guess she was trying to see what was what,
Okay.
Supposedly just coming
allegedly.
out.
Yeah, supposedly. I'm gonna go with Rosie on that one.
I kind of agree too. I think it's been a while.
I think they were
Mhm.
together. What we're saying is we think that Rosie was saying she believes that they were together when she signed up for the show, but separated when they started
When they
shooting.
started filming, so to
Yeah.
save
Because
face, she kind of
I believe that they were broken up for a while.
so
I do too.
he was giving her like a buffer period to get out of to vacate the premises.
Or just to give her that opportunity to be on the show. Like, he knows she's gonna make a little bit of coin from that. He
Hmm.
she can go on about her business with a little bit of money and hopefully a job situation afterwards. I think he gave her that moment to have it.
Yeah.
Because I think that her being on the show would have been a turnoff for him because he doesn't want his business out there, even though everybody was able to connect the dots and know who it was.
They tried to fuzz out his face, didn't work.
No.
And I do want to add that that Ashley started crying as soon as she got up in the morning. But she recovered briefly to go to go lay out in the sun. But homegirl she was crying at breakfast.
First of all, Ashley,
She was crying about them
Oh,
not giving Rosie
Rosie.
a
Yes.
chance to, and then she was
and they
upset
the
that Rosie
way
was upset.
they ignored her when she started crying, loved it.
Well, Liz, do you remember what Liz said?
What? No.
I skeeve nurture.
I skeeve ner
I skeeve nurture. I believe in tough love.
with her on that one. I'm gonna be the best nurturer for you, but you gotta cry for a reason. That was
Yes.
dumb. And
My
I'm
girl
not
was in tears.
entertaining dumb because I barely like you anyway because you're stupid. But that was dumb. So I'm with her on that one.
When she cried later in the episode, that was justified.
She cried quite a
No,
bit.
it wasn't. It
When her
wasn't.
son was in the hospital?
Okay, I get it. I get it. But what was it? Her father-in-law's the doctor, what or her father's the doctor.
Her
Somebody's a
father.
doctor in her family, and they said, "We need to bring him to the hospital." And I understand you get a little emotional or whatever, but this kid has had breathing problems since he came out the womb. So you're used to all of these things. So him going to the hospital to get some air, calm down. She just likes she doesn't have anything. She needs the attention. And number one thing is stop doing it because you have the ugliest cry on TV.
Not on the entire TV.
Yeah.
So now we're on the boat. We're on the boat. So more high class activities, pink captain's hats, pink heart sunglasses. They go on the boat after the slip and slide. So we get Liz back into the fold and they get on the boat. Alicia, now they're at a table that's all of what, 2 by 3, and Alicia's like, the crackers are all the way over there. We can pass them to you, baby. It's okay. And then she's been going, so Ashley has been going back and forth with her mom. Mom is like, I almost went to the hospital with him, but he said the 2-year-old said he's fine. I'm like, okay, well, then he must be fine, right? So I think I think it was guilt. I think that's what made her cry. And I don't disagree with you, Rose, that she probably, that was justified. I justify her shedding a tear in that
Uh,
moment. And she didn't cry for everything else.
yes. Yes. If she didn't cry earlier in the day, I wouldn't have that. But
Girl, you
And
get
then the
just
night
one,
before,
yeah, you
you
get
would have
one.
cried too.
would have cried why?
If one of your grandkids was in the hospital.
No.
I disagree with you.
I got teary, but that
You
was it.
cried about the birds. You cried about a baby bird being born. You're trying to act like you're such a tough.
That's on record.
Yeah, I did tell that story, but you know what? That was dirty, Rose. I'm gonna get you back.
Think what happened is she knew that she should have gone home earlier. She should have just left earlier. But also, okay, she probably was crying because damn, I'm really somebody's mother, and I got to take my ass home when I could be having fun with the, the girls. So it's a little bit of guilt. It's a little bit of damn, you done messed up my vacation a little bit.
They only have one child.
Two.
A little. Okay, they have two.
2 boys.
Yeah, I probably would have cried. No, I wouldn't have cried. I wouldn't have. I would have
I
got.
would have
I would have
cried.
got tear. Yeah, you would. You would. I would have gotten teary eyed. Definitely. The only reason I'm going so hard on her is because she's just dull.
Yes. Yes.
She definitely needs a storyline. But can I tell you guys? So one time I went on a girls' trip, right? And there was this one girl who kind of puts me in mind of Ashley in that regard. Something happened with her kid. It was like one thing after another, and she kept getting calls about her kid. And in my head, I was like, you need to go home because you're ruining the
Mm-hmm.
girls' trip. Like, I get your kid is having stuff going on, but either you're here or you're there. Like, I don't want to hear no more about this little boy and what he did. I really like, low key, I'm a mom. I need these 3 days. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of
Yeah.
hearing about your kid. And I understand the housewives being a little bit cold-blooded about that. That's some New England stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you crying about your kid, but don't tell me any more about it because I'm trying to be in the pool
Mm-hmm.
and making s'mores and drinking.
Did she leave?
She did.
No,
Oh,
she
wait. Oh, you're.
She stayed the entire time.
stayed there the entire time.
Oh, well, yeah. That's.
Yeah, that's a little much. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really sick, but yeah, this chick, I don't know.
Yeah, and he was fine. But yeah, and more crying to come from Ashley. We've already seen the previews of that. So
Oh, really? God damn it.
more crying to come. Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
She really needs a storyline. She's got to come up with something better. Because I like her husband. Like
she's
he
okay.
seems like a genuine guy with a genuine job. He's trying to run a business, and I get that she's making really all the money now because of her endorsements and
Influencing.
stuff, or
Yeah.
influencing. I don't even know. It's amazing how people become influencer because I can't find anything interesting about her that would make me want to follow her.
So I'm thinking you're not her target demographic.
No,
I
I'm
feel
not.
like young Caucasian moms ages 21 to 34
Do you
probably are
follow
her
her,
sweet
Rose?
spot.
I don't, but I'm 37.
There you have it.
She's like, but I saw a little of her page, and it's just not giving because
It's
when
a
you
People.
have younger girls like in 30 in that age group, that okay, I can see it. I can see they're like the page is flat. It's just nothing about her that screams like, oh, I want to buy whatever product she's out there selling.
I think
You
it's
don't
The
want
Bachelor. Like, people are crazy about The Bachelor. It
Mhm.
is. I've never watched it, but people it's like what, 5 nights a week
Is it?
when it's
is
on.
it?
I think it's multiple nights a week. People watch it. People
I
are
watched
posting about it.
the senior one. I watched it that year, and when they did, like, the older people, that was interesting. I don't know why anybody would ever go on any of those shows, but it was interesting. And
I
one
just
woman, she skipped out on her daughter's wedding to be on The Bachelor and still
That's
didn't get
crazy.
picked, and didn't
dang,
get picked. And the daughter was like, she was calling the daughter, and she was just like, the daughter was encouraging her to go ahead and do it. It was a once in a lifetime. She was getting married, her first marriage. It wasn't even like, if it was like her second marriage or her third marriage, I would have been like, you know what? We did this one time already.
the daughter probably didn't want her there and was happy as hell that lady was at the bachelor mansion.
Yeah, that was wild. I couldn't
Talk
believe
about
that.
toxic moms.
And then she
That
tried to use that on the show with the guy, like letting him know that she was missing her daughter's wedding. And if I was the guy and you told me that, I'm like, either I'm just going to use you for sex and money, but we could never be a couple
that's a
because
red
you
flag.
don't have
Yes.
any loyalty at all.
That's a
Your own
huge red
kids.
flag.
Yeah, your
Me,
own kid. So that was the only experience I've had with The Bachelor. That was the only show that I did watch. But no, but I guess I get it. But yeah, she just doesn't seem she's just not interesting.
girls, I just have one thing to say. I skeeve the Bachelor universe. I don't watch any of that crap. I skeeve it.
I've never seen it, but
Who says I skeeve? I haven't heard that in like forever, since like
I skeeve. Not interested. Like honestly, like 25, 30 women slobbing on one man and throwing themselves at him for the chance to marry him. No, thank you. That sounds gross
no,
to me. And I know they
thank
do it
you.
the other way. I know they do the what do they call it?
Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette. I don't care.
But and again, like you're saying, and skeeve is the perfect word. So thank you for using that one. I skeeve it too, because they are in intimate situations. Sometimes they're actually having sex with
Oh
like
yeah.
all
Oh yeah.
three people. Like, how are you sitting in a house with another woman that they just had a sexual relationship with, and then you're up next? No,
It's
thank you.
gross.
Yeah.
No,
Not
thank
not
you.
cool.
Not at all.
No.
America loves it though.
Hmm.
America freaking
Yeah,
loves it.
it's been on for years.
Did she win The Bachelor?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
Was she in The Bachelorette, or was she the Bachelor? Was she in The Bachelor? Which one was she in?
I don't know. I can look it up. I have no idea.
I think it was The Bachelor, because that's all they ever say. They never say The Bachelorette. So she must have been one of the women vying for the guy.
Her husband. Her husband was on the show with her. That's how they
Oh,
met.
really?
Yes. He was on The Bachelor with her.
So it must have been The Bachelorette then. Was
I
she the
know.
picker? Because on The
Yeah.
Bachelor, there's only one guy, right?
Yes. There's usually only one guy.
So on The Bachelorette, there's several guys.
Yes.
It
On The
wasn't even worth
Bachelorette, yes. There's several guys, one woman.
was
Right.
not even worth the energy for me to look it up. I was gonna look it up real quick, and I was like, you know what? I don't really care.
Says she's been on
Because
The
her husband,
Bachelor.
But y'all can look it up.
because
She's
the
been on The
husband.
Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, The Bachelor Winter Games. Didn't know there was all this.
Oh no, that's too
I have
much.
no idea. Yeah, I don't.
I wanted to know, because if she met the husband on the show, then she had to have been the Bachelorette then.
It could have gone either way.
She was on
But
season 19 of The Bachelor, but she
so
was
the
eliminated.
but how many men are on The Bachelor?
But maybe they
One.
met in like a reunion or something.
Yes, then she was on,
You know what I
later
mean?
that year, she was on Bachelor in Paradise. Oh, and she briefly dated and split from Jared. And then she returned for the third season. Oh my God, this is a lot. I don't know when they met.
I was just trying to figure out how she met her husband. Okay.
She met her husband on The Bachelor. I don't know which season. She was on 3 seasons.
Okay.
Third time was a charm, I guess.
All right.
January 2015, August 2015, and in 2018.
Okay. What's next?
So how do we wrap up episode 7? I'm trying to think. Was there
Did
anything else to 7?
did it end on the boat? I'm trying to remember now. I only have notes about
No, it
episode
ended
8.
with them going home, I think.
No, and again, Rula missed the whole thing
Yes.
because of this disease that is so rare, this virus that is so rare that medical professionals from Brown University Hospital probably cannot pinpoint or identify.
Well, wait. Can I just say one thing? there are certain things that happen in the body where they don't know why it happened.
True.
So it
But
let's not
all the
call out
time,
Brown University. Let's not call Brown University. They probably did their best.
but do they always happen conveniently when you're supposed to be someplace and there's friction and you don't really want to be there?
That woman is trouble. Do you know how it's like I remember going through my divorce and I was so stressed. I was bald in the middle of my head. She's going through it.
Yeah, she is
She's
going through
going
it.
through it. So
And on national TV.
But you know what? After all that, and I know her husband's a dick, he did rally the children, and I don't know if he just did it for show.
he
He
did it for
rallied the
show.
children. They made pictures for their mom. He was like, "What does mommy like to eat?" Whatever. They went upstairs to the room, and the kids are freaking adorable. Those kids are so damn cute. I was like, I don't know. They don't belong together, but they have two beautiful children, and I don't know. I think he may be a halfway decent father. I don't know.
I think he did it for the show.
I think he did it for the show as
He
well.
does
I
not
mean,
seem like the most involved
he
dad,
No.
except in that one
mm-mm,
clip.
no.
Yeah.
And it actually that episode ended with Joellen getting that video and them all sitting on the couch.
Ah,
That's how the
Mm.
episode
On
ended.
the started on the balcony first.
Mhm. And what was the video of him kissing the
hugging
woman?
her
Hugging
and
her through the
It
kissing.
was
window?
it was something. We
Yeah.
we didn't quite really know, but and Liz was still trying to talk her down and say like, "Why don't you just drop this?"
Mhm.
And then she was
Yeah.
like, "We can't even stop." She was like, "I can't even tell you to knock it off because this is too much. What you just showed me, she needs to know about it." Even Liz agreed.
Another reason why I like Liz, because she really because Joellen's my number 2 girl, but she was too invested, and I get it that you're like, "She was calling me a liar, and I gotta prove it wrong." No, you really don't, because
No.
that woman knows what's going on, and you know that woman knows what's going on. You don't have to
Yeah.
keep trying to she said she told her I would get her evidence. I was my girl, you have too much going on in your life. Don't be worried about trying to up this woman or this man. But that one and then them all kind of like looking at it, that was the end of it. But Ruel, what's the name?
Rula.
Rula is I don't know whether to hate her for being stupid or to have a great amount of sympathy for her. I don't know which way to go with her on most days because she seems to be struggling mentally. Like
Yes.
she knows that this man is cheating on her. She knows it. And the next episode, I mean, when we start to talk about it, I'll bring up something about that dinner party. But she knows it, but her fighting everybody else is not making it better for her.
Yeah.
You know, it's and honestly, I just feel like that's another reason why she is not eating.
I just don't know why she signed up for the show if you know this is going on.
But I don't think she knew when she signed up. And she probably already signed that contract and then things just started taking off from there. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping to God that they bring that woman on here before this season is out. I
She's
know
desperate to get on. She's always tagging Bravo when she posts things.
she
Andy, you think messy ass Andy Cohen, love you, Andy, much respect. You think he's not going to find that lady and spin something off of this? He's going to make it work to his advantage.
and I hate that I really want to watch this car wreck, but I really do want to see this
Maybe for
car.
the reunion, because they've
Yes.
set the seating chart already for the reunion.
They filmed the reunion this past week.
Yeah.
Oh, they
Yes.
did?
Yes.
Dying to see it. I cannot wait. I feel like, well, maybe they didn't have her in, but I feel like that would have been the last episode if she had. That would have been the cliffhanger for ages.
Well, we're not there yet. We
I know.
haven't
We'll
gotten
see.
to the end, so it's possible
It's
that there
possible.
could be
But I
some.
feel like Rula would, I don't know. I don't know if she can leave. I'm sure she signed contracts. I feel
I
like
mean,
she
she has
would
the contract.
stay on if the mistress came
Well,
on.
they've also, yeah, I don't know, but they've also filmed a lot of Watch What Happens Live. So, there's been some stuff since then too. So I don't know. That remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with Rula
Yeah.
and Brian.
All right, so we can drop episode 7.
Done. Let's get to the
Episode 7.
juicy parts.
But before we go to episode 8, when do Kelsey and is it Kelsey? Kelsey and Rose have their
Rosie
conversation because they're
At the
friends now.
mansion before they go home.
at the
So
mansion before. I think it was before Slip and Slide, like
I
before.
really feel it was before the slip and slide because they did the slip and slide together and they were friendly. But what was do you, either of you remember like what was really discussed, how the apology went? Because I know that Kelsey was trying to explain her position, which was kind of lame. And then Rosie's position was kind of lame as well. So
Mm.
it just came off to me as like these are two women who just don't like each other for whatever reason. And I think that both of them have a good reason not to like the other. They just don't mix. So
I
let's
don't.
go to episode 8 then.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Rose?
I don't think Rosie dislike. I think Rosie only dislikes Kelsey because Kelsey's mean to Rosie. Like, I don't think.
Mm, no, I think Rosie dislikes Kelsey because she doesn't approve of her lifestyle. Like that whole,
That's
even
true.
though there's like rumors about her and her boss or whatever, she seems really offended that Kelsey has that lifestyle. So I mean,
That's true. No, you're right.
I don't know if I'm right, but I'm saying that's the reason I get because she's like no one else really cares. But so why do you care so much if she's a kept woman? Why do you care so much? But she does, and she seems
Probably
very offended.
jealousy. Probably a little
Yeah.
tinge of jealousy. Probably a little tinge of,
Competitiveness.
family values mentality.
The ones who scream the loudest be the ones who.
A hit dog will holler. I
There
say it
you
all the
go.
time. I say
Mhm.
it all the time.
All right,
So,
episode 8. Let's go ahead. Go.
so do you guys remember how it kicked off?
Yes, Alicia driving, right? That
And who should not be on the road because she already hit a woman with her
this
car.
was my favorite scene to date.
Can I say something about her driving? This is me and I had this conversation. So she was driving to whose house?
She was
She
going
was
to pick
going to
up her
pick up her
daughter.
kid.
No, wasn't she going to? Wasn't her and her husband going to Rula's house?
No,
Wasn't the first scene? Okay, all right. So I got that mixed up. So she
they
was
were
She
going
was
to pick up
going.
her
daughter.
daughter from dance, and
Okay,
they
He
had
was
to go over the bridge. So
They
it's
were doing a
probably like,
dry run. They were doing a
yeah.
dry run to go pick up the daughter because she can drive but doesn't because she's horrible at it and scared. And the husband's like, I cannot be dropping everything I'm doing, and not the husband because it's the fiance. Let's
True.
yeah.
keep it up. And he said, you don't work. Like basically and he was nice enough not to point that out. But he's like, you have nothing else better to do. Go pick this little girl up from school or
I
dance
think it
or
was,
whatever.
yeah, because he said it's like 5 times a week or something like,
Yeah.
and he has to go pick her up every day.
What
Yeah.
town is the girl going to school in? Dance
It's
school.
her dance. I don't know. It's somewhere over the bridge, so I don't know. East Providence, Barrington, Seekonk.
Okay, but weren't they on Blackstone Boulevard at one point?
Yes. And I think they only went over the Henderson Bridge. I don't think they went over
Not
like
even the
it's
real bridge.
Because
yeah,
I
it's
was
The
trying to
baby
figure
bridge.
out where the heck were they going that it was taking this long, and why are they on Blackstone Boulevard?
I'm guessing East Providence. That's
Because
what it seemed like. They looked like they were going from the east side to East Providence, right?
okay, because I thought, and this is where I got confused because I thought that that was when they were going to Rula's house for dinner, and I'm like, why
She
did they
did
drive?
drive there too. She
But
did drive there
that
too, but
drive
that
was
was
forever.
separate.
It was forever.
They live in the same town, right?
Wait, who?
Rula
Rula lives in Lincoln,
and Alicia lives in Cranston.
Providence, the east side of Providence.
Ah, okay, so I got it confused. I thought they lived in the same town. I thought they were both in Cranston, and I was like, "Why is this chick in on Blackstone Boulevard driving from Cranston to Cranston?" So I had
And
it all
now,
messed up.
now one of them is renting a house. Do you guys know which one is renting a house for the show because their house
No,
is not sufficient? A little birdie told me that. So obviously it's not Kelsey. It's not Liz.
now I'm
It's
looking at.
doubt that it's Joellen because that house looked like their normal house.
I don't think it's Rula. Maybe
It's got to
Alicia.
be, and it's not Rosie because Rosie's building.
Let's see. I'm Googling
So
now.
it's got
Do
to
you
be.
know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's renting?
So, but that's not uncommon for the Housewives franchise. If your house is not giving housewife material, they will rent you a home. But I heard through the grapevine somebody's renting. So I'm wondering
Yeah,
if it's Alicia.
nothing's coming up. I don't.
But Alicia had that, like, that pool party at well, it could have been rented, you're right. So, I
That's what I'm
thought it
saying. Because that house is actually, when I saw her, the first episode, when I saw Alicia's house, I was like, this house looks like an Airbnb because like the place settings were so perfect and it almost looked like a house that was not lived in with children. And then you got that weird dollhouse
that
in the
was in
front
the
room.
living room, right?
It almost looks like she brought crap from her house
Yeah.
and put it in there to try to make it. I don't know, but I'm guessing Alicia's the one that's renting.
She did say they were doing construction. That's why the
Sure.
dolls were in the living.
Okay,
It
I mean, we'll s
it could be because houses on the east side, they're expensive.
right, but you would have thought that I mean, they've been here forever. The husband could have bought that house well, I don't know when he
There's
bought
some
the house.
mediocre houses on the east side too. I've
Yeah.
been in them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And not to say like, it's what people can afford. So not to crap on anybody's house or anything like that. But when we're talking housewife quality, it may not have been
now I'm looking.
giving what, looked rich and ritzy.
Now I'm gonna be looking this up all night tonight.
Alright, what's next? So, that was the opening, and then what happened?
Where have I notes?
Everything that happened in episode 8 got eclipsed by the blowout between Kelsey and Rosie. So we could talk about that
Well,
other
wait,
stuff.
well, let's go to Joellen and her mom first.
Yeah,
Uh,
true. Yeah.
That was a discussion I was waiting for it to happen, but I was very disappointed.
It was anticlimactic.
It
Yeah.
was very staged. It was the mom knew what was gonna happen. I mean, Joellen had been talking about this relationship with her mother for, like, what, 5 episodes, 6 episodes, and how detrimental it was to her well-being and she has this discussion with her mother, and she's trying to have this emotion, and her mother's like, "I'm sorry," and that was it,
yeah,
basically.
But did you notice her mom got super defensive at one point? So I think she was prepped, but I don't
Agree.
think she thought Joellen was gonna keep digging because
Mhm.
Joellen was waiting for her to just like really have a breakthrough moment and really have a moment of remorse. And the mother just couldn't get there. And then she turned around and blamed it on her mother, which you mentioned
Yeah.
before.
Mhm.
And then she was kind of getting pissed that they weren't just dropping it. And Jen
But
just
she
stood
handled it
there.
too well.
yeah. There was
She
no emotion.
handled it too well.
She was starting to get ticked off. And she almost got to the point where like, sorry you feel that way,
Yeah.
but I'm not sorry. And then Jen just obviously again, mommy's pet, because Jen did not stand up for Joellen in that moment and back her up. And she sent her away too. And Jen did not like really stand two like 10 toes down with Joellen about the mom. And Joellen kept saying, "You were terrible to us." And Jen was just sitting there like, maybe that wasn't her experience.
Maybe not totally, but I feel like at one point when the mother was trying to say something, Jen did say, "No, that's not how it was." I can't remember exactly. So she wasn't in there as hard as Joellen, but she did not let her mom completely off the hook either. But I feel like you said that she was prepped. She knew what was coming. They all knew what the conversation was supposed to be like. And yeah, I did sense a little bit of like, I'm getting a little frustrated, but she also said, "I am on TV and I am not gonna go," which I respect her for because I'm not gonna go out like that either on TV. It's like if the audience wants me to be the bad guy, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that. So if I have to just suck it up and apologize and then be pissed off when I go into my trailer, then that's what I would do too. But we were waiting for this and expecting so much more, and it was so flat. It was horrible.
I'm
yeah.
hoping it's not over. I feel like there's more to
I don't
come.
wanna hear no more about it. That's it, I'm done.
She also
You're
made it
over it?
seem like she's not the most involved grandmother either,
And she
based
was like,
on
"I'm gonna be a better grandmother. I'm gonna be a better mom to you, and I've been trying." I don't wanna hear no more about it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with that one. So,
Yeah. Less on her. I'd rather see Alicia's mother and aunt.
uh, Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
they were there.
They're a much more fun crowd to watch on TV.
So
We
can we
all
go to the dinner party?
but wait, we also got to see Kelsey's mom and sister when Kelsey was moving
Yes.
Yep,
into
yep,
her
yep.
new apartment.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I'm really trying to just bust off and go to the end of it. But
No, I don't
yes.
want you to go to the end yet.
No, I know. But okay, were you what guys thinking the same thing I was thinking? As soon as I saw Kelsey's mother and sister, well, not even so much the sister, I was like, ooh, that's Billy's future walking in the door right there. The mother,
I
she
did
looks
not see that.
nothing like if I'm wondering if Kelsey's gonna look like her mom when she gets that age.
I can't even remember what her mom, because her mom had, like, thick blonde hair, right?
She was heavier.
Heavier, yeah, and then the sister's not bad looking. She has a decent looking
No,
sister. Uh-huh.
they're good looking girls, but I was just like, you know how they say if you look at a girl's mom, you can
Yes.
see her future. I was like, ooh,
But that's
Billy.
also too before women started, like, oh, hitting the gym and taking care of themselves much better than the generation before them.
Yeah,
Because you know how, like, if you look at Black people in the 70s, they all look like they were, like, 50s and they were 20 years old.
that's true.
The
But
dress, you know what I mean?
sometimes that having a child kicks your ass, and then you end up looking like Kelsey's mother when you're in your 30s. So I'm like, she might have that one baby by Billy, and it might be a wrap for her. She gotta gotta be super careful.
I am still not on the Billy train. I
But
think
he
Yeah.
it
came
is
he came
fake.
over to help. He came over to
What else
help.
he gonna do? He wanna be on TV?
That's true. She was
Yeah.
putting a well, what about her putting that IKEA furniture together? I was like, girl, now you know you just came from having someone pick seeds out of your lemons for your cocktails, and now you're putting together IKEA furniture. I don't believe the hype. This is for the show.
And she was complaining about how she like misses her chauffeur, her housekeeper, all of her staff.
I
I mean, I would miss it too. I mean, damn.
That's why there's no way she left him. I'm
listen,
Oh,
sorry.
there's I
I am
agree.
Yeah,
I,
there's no way.
right. And I am middle class and I can pay IKEA to come put the furniture together for me.
I
So
know, I
girl,
mean, everybody
just
offers that
You're
service to
using
have
that man's
everything.
you're using that man's credit card. You coulda just had them put the furniture together. Even
Yeah.
her mother was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. He's still
That is
paying your rent,
for
your car insurance, your medical insurance.
And her mother and father have known that all this time. And I'm like, your parents just let that they just dealt with it.
what
I
were
don't
they
know,
gonna
as a
do? What were they gonna do?
complain,
They probably did I mean, maybe,
disown you.
maybe
I don't
not.
know.
I mean, I would not disown my child. I would be furious. I would be. But what am I gonna do? Am I gonna, like,
Yeah.
abandon my child and not be there or whatever? I mean, in her head, she had a relationship. Whether it was the type of relationship I wanted her to have, no, but I would not I wouldn't expect any parent to be able to do anything after a child is like, "I'm grown and I'm out." What you gonna do?
Yeah.
It feels complicit because she was early 20s when she got with this man. It
It
feels like
I
they were
feel
a
like
bit
it was,
complicit to
but,
me.
like, I always say, like, when you look at certain entertainers and their children, or let's just take R. Kelly and the and Aaliyah. Your daughter is making music at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're not there with a person. That's complicit to me.
Lionel
They
Richie and Sophia Richie, she's like 19 and she was with all these older guys.
Mhm. Damn,
they
yeah,
also
yeah.
said she was an escort before she started dating him. I've read that.
Mm. Ooh, I didn't hear that
Oh, I'll
piece.
have to send you. Yes, she was like, I think it
Yeah.
came out recently. They like interviewed her about it. She was on an escort website
And that's
before.
another reason why
Like Sugar
Rosie
Baby?
I don't know which one it was, but
Mm.
yes,
that was another reason too why Rosie was throwing those. We'll get to it, but
yes,
I feel like I agree with you to a point that they felt more complicit than I would have been. But I know that there's not a lot you can do when your child leaves your home,
yes.
and has their own home. But I'm gonna go back to what Rose said too, and I want Rose to kind of expand on that because I don't think she left that man.
I don't think there's. I
And
don't think so
why do you
either.
not
I think
think
he
that she
asked
didn't?
her, he exited her.
Yes, I think he broke up with her.
He offboarded her.
But I think it was more or less because she probably wanted to be on the show, but two, I think he left her because at some point, if somebody's saying that they want children, when
Yeah,
are they gonna trap you into one?
that's true. Yeah.
So he needed to make his exit, but I know that she didn't, and I don't think she did it for a baby. I really don't. I think she would have been okay not having a child as long as she was able to keep that lifestyle. And I know she says that's what she wanted, but I think that's just the story she tells.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just can't see her. She just seems too used to the privilege. Like she loves it's not, yeah.
And
She
that's a
seems
that's
a little
that
obnoxious about it, honestly.
that's a hard transition for anybody. I'm sorry. Even the mom was like, "You went from 16,000 square feet to this, and it's a nice condo. Don't get me wrong. Like, the average person would say it's a nice, accommodation compared to what she came from, and that's why I think the parents shut up and they dealt with it because I think they were benefiting. You know,
I mean, yeah, I mean, she was like on an allowance. She had a credit card. I mean, but it's not like when you you read about like cartels or something. I'm just going from a book I read not too long ago. And if for their significant other or their side piece, they took care of her whole family. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like a situation like that. It didn't seem like a situation like that, but it could, some people they don't care. And then also too, they live in Rhode Island. Would you want to be complicit when everybody in your town or your state knows about this relationship? The way that what threesomes and stuff being thrown out, I would have a hard time.
She said that her parents liked her ex-boyfriend. She said they didn't approve of the relationship, but they always liked him.
well, they're the
But they
same
wanted a
age.
baby.
They got a lot
They
in
just
common. They're the same damn age. They should like him. They probably went to high school with them.
That's oh damn.
oh,
That would be wild. I would be livid.
that's so gross to think about.
I would be livid. If somebody I went to high school with started dating my Tracy, why'd you do that? I want to punch
I,
somebody in the throat. I don't even know who was in the
But that's what I'm saying. Like these people, just like you, I'd be pissed. I
I
would be
would be
pissed.
pissed. Yeah. So I do think they seem very complicit, but again, I also say that, there's not a lot that they could do.
yeah.
So
I don't think there's anything they could really do.
I think, yeah, I mean, there's nothing they can do to stop it, but I also don't think I would be keying about it on TV like I was okay with
Well,
it.
that's the other piece is that you also signed off to come on the show. They didn't have to come on the show. They are minor
Yeah,
characters,
I would not. No.
but they also know they're going to get a check for being on the show.
Yeah.
that's
Well,
true.
I would be on the show, but I would not be keying about it. I'd be like, "Well, I'm very glad that this is over. I hope you learned some hard lessons."
Well, the mom does really like Billy, and she, like you said, maybe she doesn't like Billy like that, but the mom definitely gives him the thumbs up and the green light. She wants to know if things are gonna move along with Billy instead of letting this girl like heal from
Breathe.
this relationship and like find herself as an adult because who are you? You're not the girl who walked into that mansion 10 years ago. Instead of taking the time to figure out who she is, what she really wants in life, now she's a kept woman. And then you have this is what's so gross about the whole thing. You're in a condo paid for by this other man. Your boyfriend, Billy, is on his way over. Like, you're cool with your daughter basically like still being a kept woman in under like I don't think I would want to come on the show. I don't think I would
The
present
mom
myself.
didn't seem to know that he was paying for her rent until, well, who knows? She acted surprised when he
Yeah, the
told
sister
her.
did too. Like they was like, "Oh, he's still paying." But okay, are her and Billy officially dating though? Because I didn't think that they were officially dating.
The mom said something like, "Are you going to take it to the next level?" And she was like, "Yeah." Or she said she could have moved in with him too. So she said that was an option, but she chose not to
Oh, then she.
because she wants to see what it's like to be on her own, even though she's not paying her own rent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she really is trash. Let's go on. What's next?
Hold on, I gotta pause because I gotta grab a charger. I'm so sorry, girls. Hold on.
It's recording, ma'am. I just went to go turn on Bravo.
Yeah, so
Tonight's
Alicia's
episode, I will be watching as soon as we finish.
me
Wrap
too,
it
me
up.
too.
I
So,
can't watch
yeah,
until tomorrow.
Kelsey, I don't know, sis. You and your family kind of are giving opportunists.
Her, definitely.
Definitely
100%.
her. I'm not gonna judge the mama and the sister just yet, because again, what are you gonna do? That it's like having a relative who's a crackhead. You know they're a crackhead, and you know they're out in the street, but they're still your relative.
But at least get on there and be like, I didn't raise you like this. None
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
how I would be. That's
We
how
didn't get
I
any
would
of
be.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
What we got was, damn, this apartment is smaller than where you just was living at. That's what we got from
Her
mom.
mother should not have said that. That was crazy. So what
So
happened? Okay, before we get to that scene, anything before?
dinner at Rula's.
Uh-oh,
Dinner.
dinner at
Who
Rula's.
felt miraculously better just a few short hours later.
Yeah, that's
Her
true.
her mysterious virus
Was it a few hours
No,
later?
dissipated. It
it
was
was
like
maybe like
24 hours
a couple of days.
later.
No, no, it was a couple of days.
Okay.
It was a couple of
But I
days.
guess I didn't really say.
I
So we
think it
don't
was
know.
a couple of days. The some of the conversation made me think that it was a couple of days, but I just want to say how awkward that dinner was.
It was
Said that they
so uncomfortable.
go to each other's house often because they seem like they just met.
I don't know.
The husbands have no rapport
None.
whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. For people who go to each other's house often, they have dinner together often. They there was no connection.
No.
Ryan was so awkward. He's on Ozempic. He takes steroids. He
Bruh.
gets Botox. He gets too much
Yes.
Botox.
And still don't look great.
He said
No.
he microdoses Ozempic, and he definitely gets Botox because you could see like in his that he had no frown lines whatsoever.
Yeah, his face does not
Really?
move. No, he has no like his face does not move at all. He has no emotion.
Yeah.
I would have to watch it again for the Botox. Okay, there he is right now. He looks just old. It's just, oh.
I mean,
He said he microdosed Ozempic, but then started doing steroids because he thought he was too thin or too.
he has to test the products out
Yeah.
because they do them at his practice. So I mean, he can't not sample the products.
Yeah. And then wasn't he talking about doing some work for Alicia?
Yes, for Botox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alicia, stay your butt home. Don't go
And
to that man's
was it her
office.
husband who was like, "Why you don't need that?" And then Rula got so pissed. Did you see that?
No.
No.
So what happened was Brian offered to do stuff for Alicia, and Alicia's husband was like, "But you don't need that." In other words, Rula needs that shit, but you don't, baby. And
Oh,
Rula definitely reacted. You got to go back and watch it.
I didn't even notice that.
Alicia doesn't. I mean, I can understand her getting like a little whatever, but she doesn't need a lot of work. She's a good looking woman.
But Rula was saying that she does get it herself, and so Alicia's fiance was like, "Yeah, baby, but you don't need it."
Hey, I love him
I was
for
like,
that. As for Rula, she just needs to eat.
She has too much
"No, she needs to
Botox
stop
too.
taking Ozempic."
That too.
Yeah, whatever she's
Her
doing,
face doesn't move either.
it doesn't.
She has no expression.
So, first of all, you have all that money, you have the worst wigs, and you're way too skinny.
What you said? You said her hair should be falling out, so the homegirl probably needs the
Maybe it
wig.
is. Maybe that's why she has
Yeah.
these bad wigs or whatever, but they are bad. They are bad wigs. And it makes her look so much older. She just looks like a stick with a mop on top.
She looks I saw a picture of her for the reunion and she looked good. Her hair was short and it looked so much
Oh,
better. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All
so
right.
do
So
y'all
what's
remember?
the verdict on the dinner? Let's
Ryan asked permission to go to the bathroom.
His phone rang.
And
His
he's a
phone
dentist,
rang.
right? No, he's not a dentist. He's a foot
He was
doctor.
a podiatrist.
And he said it was a business call.
Yeah.
But he asked permission to go to the bathroom too because Alicia said like I thought she said something about how he must have forgotten that he said he was going to the bathroom.
Right. So
Yeah.
first he said he was going to the bathroom, but
Okay.
then he came back and said that he had a business call.
Yes, that was it.
And then that was when Alicia, and I like Alicia too, for the simple fact is she does not want to be the one to get in this mess.
But they set her ass up. They set her up to it because they're like, "Oh, you're the closest to her. You're the one that should do it."
And
Because
she said,
Liz,
"No."
she didn't want to. Liz already tried, and nobody else is close enough to Rula to do it. But it's just like at this point, just
That was her thing. It's like, at this point, she already knows.
Yeah.
Why do I need to get involved in all of this?
and Alicia was petrified from the minute she drove over there. Then she's like, "I'm sitting at the dinner, like I know what you did last summer." I was like, "Oh my god,
Honestly, I would have done just like she did.
I wouldn't have let them talk me into it."
If I mean, she goes out, supposedly they go out to dinner all the time, so it wasn't really them. I don't feel like it was them talking her into it, but they set it up that way. I get it. But her not saying anything, I get it, because her whole thing is, you have already done everything. She knows everything. I know what he did too, and my friend knows it as well. I'm not going to be another one to pile on, and I kind of respect her more for that. I liked her
Yeah,
more for that.
Well, I don't think she was planning. She said she was just going there to see how they were doing,
Yeah.
to gauge it before eventually telling her, maybe telling her.
So
we shall see. Episode 9, loading.
yeah, because that's, I guess, some stuff really does come out. So shall we just get to? Should we?
Get to the finale because just to like also just put in the context, we have a group chat among us, right? That includes Kat. We wish Kat was with us tonight. She'll probably be back for the next recap. And we were all in there chat. And the next thing I know, Shahida's like, "Have you guys watched episode 8?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go back and watch it because something popped off." And sure
Had
enough,
like 9 exclamation points. I was like,
sure
God
enough.
damn, that was the best fight I have ever seen on reality TV. The only reason I say it's the best one that I ever seen were for some of the words that were thrown out. It was the most authentic. I've seen anger before in reality TVs, but this seemed more authentic than the other ones. The other ones seemed like, go ahead and get really angry, and they had to talk that person up. You did not have to talk this up.
No.
Let's start at the very beginning, because I do want to ask a question. When Kelsey came riding down the street with the siren going, talking about it was the house police, was that malicious or no?
Go
I
ahead,
don't think
Rose.
so. If it was your friend doing it, I don't think so. But they were already, it was already 10. It was already a sore subject. So I can see why Rosie did not take it in the funny way she was hoping she would.
And Shahida, you and I talked about this. I found it to be in very poor taste and very petty, if not malicious, petty at the very least.
Think she was trying to be petty. I think
I think she
really
was.
she was trying to be funny. Like, it was almost like a throwback on her more so than it was, in my opinion, a throwback on herself, as because she had been made this such a big deal. She like, ha ha ha, I was wrong. Let me just pull up and act like, silly. But like Rose said, she didn't give that relationship enough time to marinate.
No.
Not only that, but there was a way she could have done it that did not set Rosie off. So the first part is you're making a bunch of noise coming down her street, and supposedly the community frowns upon that. I don't know how true that part is. It could be. I don't live in that kind of neighborhood, like a gated community, so I don't know what the rules are. But
Gated. Where does she live?
I don't, Richmond, I think. I think I
well,
looked it up before.
she said it's against the rules of the community. But
Mm.
anyway, the other piece is she didn't just leave it at it's the house police and ha ha hee hee. She said the owner says 8,000 square feet, but we found that to be a lie. It's something
Yeah.
to the effect of what she said. So it wasn't just the delivery, it was what was said. You called the woman a liar on the bullhorn riding down the street. And Rosie was like, "What
Okay,
is that?"
wait. She didn't start until she got close to her house. And then when she pulled in, that's when she was on the boat. I'm not making excuses for her, because when you say it like that, no, because again, the friendship hadn't marinated. So
Um,
that was just not, it
too
was
raw.
all in poor taste because of her. I might roll up on Rose's house like that.
Because your
I don't think
friends, your
Rose,
coworkers. And
again, because the relationship has marinated. So it
Right.
would be funny, and I could talk shit all day long, and she would. I mean, except if I say something about her clothes. That's the only time
Yes.
she got mad at me.
Yes. Still mad about it.
Oh my God.
But so I get it. I get it. I so sh it was I feel like it was taken out of it wasn't taken out of context, but I think it blew up too hot and too fast that Rosie just couldn't like let it go. And I think the argument started because she's just so hypersensitive about this woman. She doesn't like her. She doesn't care for her lifestyle, and
Yeah.
she had everything in the chamber ready to go, and unfortunately, go.
And I don't love Rosie. I don't love her attitude, but I must say, for you to trust a woman that you're arguing with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, "Girl,
So
you gonna let her."
that's what led me to believe that Rosie really was like, okay, maybe we can make amends. And I to trust her to cut your hair after that, because what if
Yeah.
Kelsey was on some fake stuff and was like, yeah, we're gonna be friends, and then just messed her hair up completely. Like, that's a lot of trust you're putting in someone to trim your hair, then you're gonna do the social media stuff that you promised you were gonna do, whatever. That was an olive branch that Rosie extended, and Kelsey took advantage of that. And then at the end of the day, Kelsey could not even hold her weight in the argument. So let's get to it, Shahida. Get to when it got to popping. Cause
Anything you gotta say, Rose, before I go?
She said nothing. She did nothing. She said nothing. I feel like she just tries to act tough when she's around the other women.
she looked like she was about to get her ass beat, is
So
what
She
let's
looked
looked
like
like
on
she
start
was
with
about to
the
cry.
blueprints with the blue. Let's start with her get when she came down and she came to the house. She came down to the car and she was just like, "What is this?" You could tell right there, and that was when Kelsey should have read the signals and said, "You know what? I thought I was being funny. I apologize." Before she even got out the car, she was telling the joke and still going in on the joke, not being clear when Rosie's body language completely changed. Her body language was like she was not for it. So at that moment, I felt like Kelsey, you don't have any street smart, sis, because you didn't read that situation well at
she
all.
got soft. She got soft in that mansion.
I don't think she ever was what she said she was.
Yeah.
I don't think she ever was because you know why? Because as soft as she could have gotten in that mansion, she was still dealing with the same type of women in Rhode Island where you had to be tough, you had to whatever. So it wasn't like her environment completely changed. She wasn't locked up in there. She was still out and about. I don't think she was ever about that life. She made it like she was, but she was not because Rosie is about that life.
I think
Rosie
too,
is about that life.
but she's been going at Rosie all season and Rosie hasn't, she's like taken it. She hasn't done anything back. So I don't think she was expecting it.
Yeah, Rosie got to her boiling point.
Yeah.
It's,
Cause look at the mansion. Rosie barely, like, she barely fought back. She didn't really like compared to what she at her house. She was probably expecting that, her to
She
just
would
be like,
start little stuff, but it would always be in a group.
yes.
yeah, because that's why I thought that Rosie was such a chump because she would do things very sneakily. You
Mhm.
know, it was like the low bar cuts and everything, but they were still coming and she was still messy. So they get upstairs. She has the blueprints or the blue pages
Now
out
that was petty, but
That was.
the blueprints out so she could see the square footage. So both of them were going to be on some shit. So had Kelsey not came down with the sirens blowing, which is crazy, she was going to go upstairs and it was going to be some shit regardless. So they were going to probably still beef because had she just came up the stairs and there was a blueprint, she would have been like, "Look, I already said that I could have been wrong or whatever. I
yeah,
thought we were past it, blah blah blah." It would have been an argument. But so she shows us the blueprint. She's like, basically, Kelsey's just like, well, whatever. I don't know how to read these things. Whatever. Whatever you say it is, it is. And but she wouldn't let it go.
she showed her blue papers. She had them ready.
So what was it that like started the argument? It was she showed us the blueprints, and then Kelsey said, I can't remember what she said because it happened so fast.
She just kept doubling down, like, in other words, trying to tell Rosie, like, you need to get a thicker skin. Like, this,
Okay, yeah, that's what.
this is how we do in Rhode Island. Like, that was kind of like her stance. But then Rosie just she had it. But here's the thing, and this is what I said to you, Sheeta, when we were talking. You don't go to people's house with the shits. If you're at the restaurant, if you're at the beach, you're at the park, at the picnic, whatever, you can do all that. Don't come to my house disrespecting
Yeah.
me, because that's when I'm gonna throw your shit in the driveway. Like, she took that case, ran it down them stairs, pushed that girl out the door behind her case, and slammed that door on her. Because you don't come to my house doing that to me. No.
Granted, you're right. But and I feel like had she just read the signs early on, she could have apologized and it could have went on. Just like, if when I'm wrong, I say I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't realize that, whatever. But she didn't do that. And when Rosie said to her, that was it. It was like she turned around and the next thing you know, she's like, "Where's your fucking house?" And
Yes.
Because her and her husband have been talking about that back and forth in their little pillow talk
Mhm.
And
situation.
her husband's right. I mean, why does she care so much about the square footage?
It was a dumb thing. And honestly, I feel like Kelsey, you could have a good reason to not like her. You could have just stayed on the fact that when I'm around, if you had any questions about my polygamy or whatever the situation is, you should have just asked me. Don't talk about me when you don't know me behind my back. I get it. But she really didn't have any reason not to like Rosie. I got a reason to dislike her. So I get, but
But she
even in an
does, though.
argument, it's not a good enough reason. So I'm not gonna pick an argument with you. I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone.
She does have a few reasons not to like Rosie. As much as I don't care for Rosie, it's the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Kelsey does not have a husband. She does not have a house. You're
Mhm.
neither a wife nor a housewife. So now, what is interesting about you, and Rosie and her husband, as mundane as they are, they fit the bill for what the show is supposed to be. Meanwhile, Kelsey,
But
you're
none of
you're
the shows have all of them have
they
housewives.
don't. They don't. But don't come over here criticizing the square footage of my house and talking about. Don't do that when you are at square one from where you started 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I meant. I said Kelsey did not really have
that's
a
what I'm saying.
reason to
So
dislike
it could
Rosie.
be that she's realizing I don't have even what it takes to really be on, like, the caliber of even a Rosie, because I don't
So,
have a
oh, you're
husband or a
thinking
house.
that
It's
Kelsey was
And maybe
jealousy.
jealous of
she could be
Rosie?
jealous. She could be jealous.
No, I agree. She could be to an extent. I mean, whether her house is brand new or whatever, it is hers. And when she came out and then she was just like, "Where's your house? Where's your husband? Where's your career? Sucking dick ain't a career."
So
What?
that part, because
The
the
best
career,
moment
career,
ever.
that's the other piece. Rosie has had her own career, so she has a lot of things on paper that Kelsey is gonna have to start from square one to get. So, and then Rosie, she had that in the caliber anyway. She
She
had that
did.
locked and loaded and
She
ready to
was
use. Yeah.
waiting for that moment. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say sucking dick is not a career on TV other than in a movie. I
And
loved
we
it.
sex workers, and it is a career if you do it right. And it is a
That's
career. It
true.
has been for Kelsey. But
But she didn't do it right.
she did it
She
right
didn't
for
do it
10
right.
years. She just aged out of that position.
Yeah.
She didn't take care of it. It was the best argument, but go ahead. You guys go ahead and take it. That was my take.
But the expletives were top tier.
Top tier.
Slam
The
pig is now in the vernacular. It is
And it's now associated with Rhode Island. It
right.
is.
It is in the American vernacular. Probably is going to make it to Miriam's. I mean, slam
Have
pig is.
you heard Slam Pig before?
Feel like I have. I
No,
don't
I
think
have
it was
I
not.
my
definitely
first
have.
time. I feel like I've heard it before, but
Lamb Pig?
but it
I've
triggered
definitely
something
heard
in
it.
me because I was like, snap, I haven't, like,
Like, it's
it
not
wasn't a
like just a
brand new
regular
slur.
definition. Didn't we look it up?
We did. I've heard it like I thought it was a while, like high school. It's been a while.
Feel like I've heard it before.
The definition, okay. I just felt like it was just so detailed. Let me just read it. Slam Pig. is a highly offensive derogatory slang term for a promiscuous woman. It is primarily used as a harsh insult to describe someone who casually sleeps around or is sought after strictly for non-committal casual sex, often referred to in the slang phrase of pump and dump. While it has occasionally circulated in line, and it goes on to mention the Rhode Island house, but there was another one. Oh, okay, this is the one. Vulgar, offensive, a promiscuous woman, typically overweight or ugly and sought after for pumping and dumping.
So
That
I
one I
think
love.
that's how I remember it, as being like
I'd never heard it
specifically an
before.
overweight girl who like you sleep with her but you're not interested in actually dating her.
I thought of it more like the first definition. Just
So
like,
either
yeah.
one is horrible.
Oh, it's
I
Either
mean, well,
one.
she's clearly not overweight, so I'm assuming Rosie was insinuating the first
Which is
one.
worse, pump or dump or overweight? I would take the overweight any day. I don't wanna be the pump and dump girl. That is gross.
Did it say that in both definitions?
Yes. Yes.
yeah. 10 years is not a pump and dump. I mean, that was low
But she
of
wasn't
Rosie.
just talking about that one man. I think
I
she was
No.
know.
referring
Apparently
to
she's
what
saying
what Rose said earlier about there was information about her before him. And then she doesn't do herself any favor if by saying you were with this man in his house and dating somebody else. That makes you look like a pump and dump chick somewhere along the lines.
yeah. It was ooh, it did
Brutal.
escalate. It escalated
And the
quickly.
fact,
It
go
it's
ahead, I'm
just
sorry.
crazy that she didn't fight back at all. She said nothing.
She did not
What
defend
Rose,
herself
what
very
was she
well.
gonna say? What was she gonna say?
I
And then when she did double back, because I'm telling you, the thing that's just burnt into my brain is her getting superhuman powers, picking up that case, which probably had a lot of heavy utensils in it, like it was a feather, dragging that joint down the stairs, flinging it into the driveway, and then Kelsey still trying to argue her case. She pushed that girl out that door so quick and oh my god, that was
Get the
epic.
fuck out of my house! Get out of my
And she
she
had to say it a
was
couple times. You only had to tell me get out of my house one time, and I'm out.
one time. You matter of fact, you wouldn't even have to tell me. As soon as voices started raising and I knew that I was not on the good end of this, I would have been like, "You know what? I think I should just go." But that's what I mean. Kelsey is not about any type of life. Girl,
No,
you couldn't stop the train at the beginning. You let it rev up speed. You didn't try and stop it midway. You let it go even faster, and then you put your hand in her face, and she came back. Don't put your fucking hands in my face, and got up in your face, and you didn't punch her in the face. Crazy.
neither one of them laid hands on each other. I'm like, this would be a good ponytail and a extension pulling moment. If ever there was
I
one.
think
I'm
that
surprised
in
it
their
didn't get
head
more
they
physical.
knew that if they fought, they would be off the show.
Would they?
yes. And
Yeah, if you
and
fight.
I feel like they'd get in legal trouble, right?
No, I don't think they would be in legal trouble, really. I mean, if you
Girls
slap
fight?
somebody
I thought I've seen the other girls get into fights on other housewives.
Jersey, they have. They've like pulled hair
in
before,
the beginning,
and they got one of
what?
them got sued, or like they got pressed. She got pressed charges.
Seen drinks flying. I've
Yeah,
seen, and it
drinks
was no drinks.
flying,
If there
Yes,
were drinks, they would have been flying. But
but a
I've
lot of
seen
times when there's like physical, just like with what's her name, the girl from Atlanta, Kenya,
Kenya.
she got thrown off because of the fight. So, like, usually the drinks flying and throwing stuff or whatever, as long as it don't, I guess it don't hit anybody or whatever. But when you start physically punching or whatever, there's usually some type of repercussion.
That was so good, man. I can't
It
wait for episode
was the
9.
most
and then she went back in.
It came back. So after she slammed the door, somebody opened it. It must have been production
yeah,
to
yeah.
let her back in, which was kind of that should have been cleaner. They should have left the door closed to at least give me the illusion that she threw her out in that moment and she came back in that moment, but the door got opened up by whomever and she walked back in. And he
She didn't
didn't
even walk
buy
all the way in. She just stood at the door.
and he didn't buy that a beauty queen trophy for me. Girl, take your ass home. That was all you had to say.
That was what she fought. That of all the things she said, that's
And now I'm wondering, did the
And
guy
that
buy did he buy it? Because he might have.
think he I don't know it's a possibility, but the thing is, and that's what I mean when I say Kelsey had nothing. She had nothing in the chain for all that shit you've been talking for the last few weeks about this woman. I would have thought that you would have threw the producer of the news station stuff in there. You had more dirt on this
The
girl. You
basketball coach.
Yep, the basketball coach from was it PC, right? The basketball something to be like, if I'm a slut, then so are you, blah, 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 blah. Nothing.
But that's what I'm telling you, being
Nothing.
ten years in the mansion, she got soft, man. Even if she wasn't a tough girl to begin with, like the average woman, the average girl or whatever would be like, yo, I know you didn't just say all this stuff to me. You know, what I mean? She had nothing. She wasn't quick on her feet at all.
I think
I don't think she ever had it. I
But
think
I
I
it
feel
think
like
was
when
she
the
all a
other women are
facade.
there, when the other
yes.
women are there, she has a lot to say.
Yes, I think it's
It
when she knows she had Liz to back her up or someone else to
Even
back her
think
up.
about the stuff that she's saying when the other women around, it's nothing compared to what Rosie threw in on her. Even then, you think about it, it's always, like, okay, when they had the argument inside the bedroom, she didn't have nothing in the chamber for her. She talked about her house and her being a liar and not being authentic. That's nothing. That's nothing.
But she had a lot of slick stuff to say, and I feel like in this moment, Rosie, who didn't have an audience other than the production, she flew off the handle, which is surprising because I think normally that's behavior that happens when you have an audience, right?
Yeah.
No, not when you pissed off, and she was
Yeah,
pissed.
no, that's what I'm saying. When
Uh,
you were saying it was super genuine, like that was not
Yes.
premeditated. That was her being at her wits end with it. And like,
And
I'm
that's what
not
she
putting up with
said.
this.
She said, "I am done with this." When she was like, "You are nothing." I felt that shit. Like, girl, she said it to you 3 times in your face. "You are nothing. You are nothing." And all she could do was just stand there. Like, I didn't
Cause
feel sorry for her at all.
she probably feels like she's nothing. She's probably been thinking that to herself too, because you lost your job of 10 years, and now you got to find a new something to do or someone to do. And Billy is not the best replacement to mirror
He
your
don't
original
want
lifestyle.
you. He doesn't want her. I don't care what nobody says. There is no chemistry there. He's there for TV. He does
Yeah.
not want her. And if he was my son, I would be like, "Look, this woman just called her a slam pig. That's who you want your children attached to?"
Not only that, but she's living in a condo that another man is paying for.
Yes.
Do
When
do
she could
you
have
want
moved in
her?
with you. She
No.
could have
Mhm. Mm-mm. No. Go ahead.
And the only reason she's on the show, I'm assuming, was because she was dating the
Capri.
man. Yeah, like if she
I'll
wasn't
say it.
dating him, what else did she have? Like,
I mean, no. I mean, she could have been on the show if she was married to Billy or if she was dating Billy in a relationship or, but he
Well,
probably
she
gave
was
her
Miss Rhode Island, right? Was
right.
that what she
well,
was?
that's true.
Right.
I mean,
So
Yeah,
she
that's
could have still been on the show. She could have even came in on the show as a single woman trying to find a man. They would have grabbed her up. She had a good enough storyline. She has the looks, and so she could have made a storyline, but she stole I lost so much respect for her. I used to think that okay, I don't agree with your lifestyle or whatever, but I like you better than Rosie. I still do not like Rosie because I heard she's MAGA too. But the thing is,
I heard that about Alicia, my favorite.
yeah, I can
I
see
believe
it.
that.
I
I
can
believe
see
that
it.
Yeah,
Well, she's not
100%.
my favorite no more. Please don't tell me that you heard that about
I
Joellen.
haven't heard anybody's political affiliations, but
I only
I know people close to Alicia,
Mhm.
and they are almost certainly MAGA themselves.
Okay.
So I could see it being a family thing.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could see her and Rula
But also
maybe.
I could just see her just blindly following whatever other people are doing.
I was gonna say I don't think she has many opinions
And I
other than
highly
her.
doubt she
Yeah,
even votes. So she may be MAGA in spirit, but Alicia doesn't look like a voter to me.
Damn. Well, I did hear that about Rosie, and it kind of fits. And can we
I
just
believe
go
it.
back
the other way. Her cat sent me an article, I think, but maybe I don't know. I'll have
that
to look at.
Rosie was not
It
MAGA?
was something. Yeah, it was like Alicia had made donations to Trump one of the campaigns,
First of
and that
all,
Rosie
Alicia
had
doesn't
made
have a job. So
true.
what donations did Alicia make? She doesn't have a damn job.
And and she's on allowance.
She's on an allowance. So if you took your allowance to give to Donald Trump, you truly deserve what you get, sis.
We'll have to look it up. The Cat definitely said an article about it, and I think it said Rosie, yes, had made donations to I don't know what. It was I don't know if it was Obama? I don't remember. Biden? We'll have to look at it.
Read the opposite. But let's get back to Rosie for that. I still don't like her. Still don't
No.
like her. I think her taste in clothes, we already know. The Laffy Taffy outfit, do not like. But the house. Let's talk about the house. Now, granted, it's under construction and they don't have a design team. So her house is basically looking like one of her outfits. The one thing I will say is that another reason why I respect her a little bit more is least in her home, she tries to have it as a representation of who she is. Ugly as hell, but least it's her. When you look at the other homes, they just bland, white and tan, and that's it. You
And
know,
Liz's is a little
yeah,
eclectic.
you're right. You said that, Liz. Her bedroom, at
It's
least.
gothy.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
has
and the
yeah, she
dining
has
room.
some themes and stuff in it, and I like her little so, yeah, hers, but everybody else's is just kind of bland. But Rosie, girl, please hire somebody.
She said,
She
did you
likes
hear
what
the
she
part
likes.
where they were like, well, this is the foundation, right? They were looking at the foundation. She goes, yeah, and then and when that's done, I get to decorate. I'm like, you got to finish the whole thing. What are you decorating? The cement? I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, oh
These
my
girls.
she wears I like and I saw her on Watch What Happened live, and is that what's it? Watch What Happened
Yeah.
Live? Okay. So I saw her, only a clip, and she was sitting next to some Black woman that has the biggest HVAC company in Rhode Island, and she's from
Saw that.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
And
I'm like
she just said it casually because she was kind of like, well, what do you know about Rhode Island? She was like, well, if no.
well, it was Andy that pushed her to say it because she wasn't even gonna say anything, and she said
Because
it
that's
very,
not
like,
her. Yeah.
thing, but
Why
she's
wasn't
making
she
money.
on there? Why
Huh?
wasn't that lady on there?
What lady?
Why isn't that Black woman on Housewives
Wanting
of
to be on
Rhode
the
Island?
Housewives.
She's on Atlanta. She
I
doesn't live
know,
here.
but she could have been the bridge instead
Dolores.
of Dolores.
But who knew her?
But she's not. Yeah, she's not in their crew. So yeah,
Yeah. But I don't even think she's from here, though. I think
she's
she's
not.
oh,
But
okay.
they could have rented her a house and made a storyline and made some stuff up. And
No, they don't gotta do that. There's plenty of Black women actually here that they could
that's
bring
true.
onto the show.
Right.
But her whole thing or her house, she is
Represents her.
so tacky. So what she had on that, Watch What Happened Live, she had on this pink she loves the
The
feathers.
posts.
She
A
loves
pink
the
post.
feathers. She loves the pageant look, like the gaudy pageant look. And it's like, somebody talk to her. Tracy, you're a
Listen,
stylist.
she
Call her
probably has
up.
you said it before. She might have an account down at the Attleboro Mall. Those people might be giving her outfits
This is
and
true. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but that was the most epic fight I have ever seen, and it took everything I had not to tell y'all last week when I saw it.
I appreciate you not spoiling it for me, but I'm gonna keep up. I'm gonna watch tonight, and I'm gonna watch the other one on the 31st. And yeah, I need this. So
That was a week-long that fight was a week-long conversation. It started because on Monday, Kat watched it early, so then we had a separate conversation in chat, and then, slowly I was getting everybody else in there to
I just have to end on the note that if you would like your Slam Pig merch, it is available on Rosie's Instagram page.
wait,
She's
so
that's
wait,
smart. That's
so
a
she
smart
did it?
business move.
It was, but you know what? What did I say in the group chat?
What?
What did I say? I didn't know that it was her.
That's a smart business move. You
But
gotta
who's
give that to
wearing
her.
this? That's what I want to know. Who's gonna walk around with Slam Pig on
I
their shirt?
guarantee
So
people are
it's
ordering it.
smart, but the person who buys it and wears it, how smart are they? Because I'm not gonna walk around with the Slam Pig shirt on.
Fair. I
Okay, so I didn't say it in our group chat, but I said said it to somebody else that we work with. I'm like, and they asked if you and I were gonna wear it,
The
and I
slam pig
said,
shirts?
"Huh?"
Nah,
If
nah.
we were gonna wear the shirt, and I said, "No, we would have did a better job
The design
designing
is
it."
Yeah,
super
the
It is
design's amazing.
remedial.
ugly as hell. I'm like, you have a I mean, not 2 women are gonna wear a slam pig, but if she could have made it interesting enough that a woman would put it on, just throw
Yes.
a pig head in the slam pig. You don't bitch, you don't even
She used
try.
AI. She clearly used an AI tool to
She don't
generate that
even
design. Very lazy. I mean, I guess she had to strike while the
I
iron
thought
was
I
hot.
said
Super
that. I could have
lazy.
sworn I said that. I
Not
said
in our group chat.
No.
who did I
I
say?
will say one other thing. It was a boring scene. You, Shahida, need to try the menopause gummies that Liz and
You know what was
I
not
thought of
boring
you.
about that scene?
I thought
How
of you instantly.
unsanitary it looks in there. People with beards did not have beard guards on.
Yeah, that's
Liz's
Uh-huh.
weave and Dolores's weave is just flinging around everywhere. And I know they made that
if it's like that or if that they just left that because they weren't really it was like a fake scene. Because
does
that is
not
right.
does not look up to code. That's all I'm saying.
I
That's
didn't even think
right.
about that.
First of all, miss, I'm over my menopause.
Are you?
Off for the summer months. I only have it in the winter months. Talk to Tracy. No, sir.
You listen, I have gummies for my menopause, and they're the pineapple gummy bears from the Dollar Tree for 125. They have no CBD in them. They're just pure sugar.
All right. Any final words on 7 and 8?
I don't think so. Do we know how many episodes there are?
I feel like, I mean, I don't know, 10 maybe?
I don't know.
I have
They're
no idea.
they're
How many
giving out the
episodes are
seating chart.
usually?
They're giving out the seating chart, so I feel like we're getting close.
Yes.
Because this is 9. So how many episodes is like Jersey in them?
I think they're, I don't know. Back to Googling.
I don't even watch this franchise. I'm literally watching for Rhode Island because I'm not a big Housewives watcher. But I'm invested. I might, depending on where the next city is, I might have to continue because
Oh, there's
it's
so many good seasons or
getting
so
good.
many good cities.
Over I don't think I care enough anymore. I
Oh,
like
no,
Rhode
it's
Island
good.
because it's Rhode Island, but I used to be very addicted to New York. I used to love New York. I used to love Beverly Hills. I used to watch OC because that's the original, and then I'm done. And I used to watch Atlanta, and then I tried to watch, what is it, Potomac?
Potomac,
Potomac. I tried to watch that
Grand
one,
Dame.
and I just couldn't. I just couldn't. So I think I
Yeah.
am only gonna be stuck with it.
Oh, it says
Uh,
15. There's going to
it's
be
15
15.
We're
episodes.
only halfway through.
Yeah. It says there's going to
Yeah.
be,
No, well,
I don't know if that includes the
episode 10
reunion.
is tonight.
That might include like maybe 2 or 3 reunion episodes.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
because I
say.
forgot. They usually break them up, that reunion show, to, like, 3 episodes now.
Yes.
It's crazy. Whereas, like, before, it used to be, like, 1 episode, that was it. But I can see them going 3.
I'm so excited. Not a lot of series get a reunion the first season. So,
And
I,
Really?
Andy's loving it. He's putting on the Rhode Island accent every opportunity he gets.
Just
Andy
think
loves
this
it.
little old state just blew up because of these trash ass women. Nah, I love these women.
yeah, like Salt Lake City didn't get a reunion the first season. I'm trying to think other ones that I've watched recently. The
So you
Valley
said
didn't.
15. I'm seeing 13. So I don't know, but this could be wrong.
I know this
It
is
could
just
be,
the
like,
AI
13
overview on
episodes
Google.
and then not have the reunions as part of it.
Yeah, that could be the extra 2 could be the reunion. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
time will tell, but yeah,
Alright. That it?
think
that's
so.
it.
Alright, slam pigs. No s
Peace out, Slammies.
if anybody ever called me that, I would almost be close to tears. I would be so furious. I would be furious. That is I mean, I could take a hoe. I could and that's one thing I liked about Joellen when she talked about her younger days. She was like, "Yeah, I was out there. I was in them streets. I was a hoe."
I feel like it hurt her more when she called her nothing than
Mm-hmm.
the slam pig.
Then the slam pig.
Yeah, I
They
don't
were
know.
they were probably neck and neck.
Yeah,
I mean, slam pig, you are nothing. Sucking dick is not a
A
It's
career.
not a career. And we didn't give that one. I got to give out one shout out because when Liz said that her toes look like a bag of penises, remember?
Wait, what?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was in my other notes.
Whose
Dang.
toes?
Liz said her toes, because they were swelling up, she said it looked like a bag of dicks.
I missed that one. That was in my phone note.
I said, I forgot about that. I said, oh, these women are like on top of it. A bag of
Yeah.
dicks. That was horrible. All right, ladies. I am gonna watch the last. No, I'm not. It's 9:59. God damn it.
Is it too
I
late?
thought it was still on, but no, I have to do the rewind it. But anyway, it has been great. We'll see you in episode what?
We'll be
10?
doing
Two
9
more
and 10.
episodes. It depends on what happens with this
It
episode if
depends.
you'll
It
see
depends
us
on how
next week.
juicy it is. But listen, we'll be back talking about low rent behavior in high rent zip codes before you know it.
Have a good night and a good week.
Good night.